Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching this edition of Unpopular Review. While you're at it, why don't you give us a follow on these beautiful social media platforms known as Facebook and Twitter at Unpopular Review. But there's another one. Give us a follow on Instagram. We got funny pictures, we got updates, and we have things where we tell you everything that's going on. So why don't you give us a follow on Instagram at unpopular.review. And now, back to the show.
Good evening, and good evening to our first commenter, Joseph Foyers, or Fires or Fallers. I'm not sure. Forgive me, Joseph, but Joseph, at least I got right. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, everybody else who's tuning in tonight. I'm not alone. My name is James. Let's bring in the other people with me. We have C, the Superior.
Hi.
We have the Executive Consultant.
Oh, it's good. I thought it was going to be last. My bad.
Oh, okay. We have a short intro this time. It's much quicker. And we have Wishful Thinking Asterio. Now, please, sir, please explain that name.
Please do. What is that?
Eventually, we're going to do Wonder Woman 84. And don't you wish? Don't you just wish that we can just do that movie like immediately?
I do wish.
You know what? I recently found out this is a year. This is a year in event, and I have to admit that we're looking forward to the year 2021. There are a lot of movies coming out. One of which is called Pinocchio, and Pinocchio is known for a very, really good song. It's called "When You Wish Upon a Star." So you keep wishing that, okay? You keep wishing that and see that happen.
Beautiful.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Unpopular Review, Year-End Review Entertainment Edition, where we're going to talk about a lot of our favorite movies and a lot of our favorite episodes from this year. I am the Executive Consultant, Christopher Harris, joined, as James just said, from all these other people. Oh, that's why.
All these other people, huh?
Because he already introduced y'all, so it'll be redundant for me to do it again. Pay attention. Do your homework.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
Vic Rod,
Vic Rod.
Happy New Year. What's going on, Vic Rod? Long time no speak. I don't think I've seen you in this episode in quite a while. So, how do with nothing but respect for all? Thank you so much, Mr. Higgins.
Great name, by the way. He has a great name.
How, you know what? I just don't understand how somebody can be so egotistical that they sit around and they praise the fact that somebody has the same name as them. That doesn't even make any sense.
I didn't even think of myself. I was thinking of James Higgins, and I said he has a great name.
The first to last.
Whatever you said.
That's it. His whole name is James Higgins, sans his middle name if he has one, or if he's a junior or senior, what have you. James Higgins is a great name.
If I remember Mr. Higgins correctly, I think he's the first. I don't think he is a junior or a senior. Actually, I think he's the only.
Look at that, James the First, the originator, the beginning.
Do I have to add a fifth? Do I have to add a fifth window in here for your ego? I don't know.
Oh, it's my ego now. It's my ego.
Hey, look at this. American Dream Real Estate says Wonder Woman 84 is great. Y'all should do it. And I'm so glad his name is American Dream Real Estate, because once again, now we're wishing and we're dreaming all in one episode. We're giving you everything here, ladies and gentlemen. Entertainment.
Sponsored episode.
Two of our hosts, to peek behind the curtain, two of our hosts want to do Wonder Woman 84. Why they want to do Wonder Woman 84 right now? Right now. Instead of
not at this moment. I'm just saying
I'm sorry. Let me finish talking and then I'll hit you up real quick. Hold on. Keep texting under your pseudonyms of American Dream and but two of them want to do it right now. Why they want to do it right now? They can explain it to you. Even though we already knew that we were supposed to do this episode, yet they're trying to push this in the name of Wishful Thinking Asterio and also WW84 under again the pseudonym of American Dream Real Estate.
Look, don't be trying to get rid of our sponsors now. These are very American Dream Real Estate has been very good to us. Has been sponsoring almost every episode now.
Now we're thanking the people who watch us. Before, you didn't show respect to James Higgins, to Nicolas Cage. I got Nicolas Cage to come on the show, and y'all dogged him. Now he won't come back on the show.
And Will Smith.
I got that.
I was backing James with everything. I was backing James with everything until he said freaking Nicolas Cage. He can stay far away, ruining every movie franchise in except for Face Off. That's how I feel about Mr. Cage over there. Mike, what's going on? Mike Riggs. Will Smith is a phenomenal actor. I remember earlier episodes where Chrissy here, yeah, that's why you're making that face, was saying that tomfoolery where Will Smith plays the same character in every single movie.
Ali, and he does.
Men in Black.
I'll stick by that. With a couple of exceptions, again, he plays the same character over and over. But it works for him. It made him a multimillionaire. Good for him. But I'm not going to sit here and act like he's,
Since we're on the topic of Will Smith, let's talk about it. I don't know if he actually came out with a movie this year. I don't remember that movie where he was a twin. Was it Gemini twins or something like that? I don't know. That came out this year or last year. Was that this year or last year?
It was a Gemini Man, I think it was.
Gemini Man. I think he came out last year.
Came out last year. That's a movie we never reviewed, and I'm not sure if we're ever going to review that movie. I haven't seen it, so I'll be fine with that. Victor Rodriguez says, I like the Married with Children episode. That was our first one where we dived down into a spinoff.
Hey, Victor Rodriguez, are you related to Vic Rod? Are you?
No relation. The Married with Children episode. Okay, awesome. Happy New Year.
And that was was a really funny thing. Victor Rodriguez and Vic Rod. You are ridiculous. Let's talk about this guy, John Brown, who says, yes, WW 84 is perfect. Great. You make sure you talk about it with us when we do that episode, which will be sometime next year. Let's see. No relation. Vic Rod is disowning Victor Rodriguez. Apparently, they don't like each other.
No.
Speaking of Married with Children episode, James, do you want to give a little? Yeah, there you go. To that poke high. 33.
Yes.
33.
Nice.
If you minus that by 29. Since I went to high school, James, I can tell you that's how many touchdowns he scored in one game. Oh, we haven't done it yet. It or It Too. And surprisingly enough, we didn't do that during our Halloween horror. Time to Float.
Yeah, nobody picked that. Thank goodness.
Like Will Smith, you play the same role of hater in every episode we do.
That's not true.
Wait a minute. Hang on a second.
How much money are you getting more than Will Smith?
I bring fairness to these episodes. That's all. Unbiasedness.
Weren't you talking about Pinocchio? What happens to Pinocchio?
Oh, nothing. What's this? Mike has a lot to say here.
He usually does.
What are you talking about over here, Mike?
It's a part of the wrestling edition.
Slamming. Look, this is the entertainment. We're talking about movies here.
Hater.
All right, movies and shows.
Hater.
But on that note, let me just go in and hop into one of my favorite movies that we did this year.
It's your turn. Go ahead.
Of course, because you guys like to beat around the bush, and I get straight to the business, which is why we're here to talk about our favorite movies and moments of the year. So, one of my favorite movies that we did this year was just so happened to be one of the movies.
That means that she likes to steal. She likes
no.
She likes a 5-finger discount. You know what I mean? A 5-finger discount. That's what she likes. You know what I mean? We gotta call her Debo the superior.
No.
Klepto the superior.
Vic is over here telling us that you got 5 on it. Now you need to let him know that
that's not the case. I'm just quick with it. But so again, one of my favorite movies and moments of the year was from one of my picks, which happens to be hi Charmaine, happens to be one of the videos that is doing very well on YouTube or on the YouTubes. One of the top 3 of all of our videos. That's going to be our Romeo and Juliet episode. It was just so funny to me. I enjoyed the movie. I enjoyed talking about it with you guys. And I actually have a little clip from our discussion there. Let's roll that beautiful bean footage.
Jesus. I
swear to you, I can't make this up, right? You know, I know it wasn't what it meant, but I can't make this up. She goes, "Oh ho, Juliet," right? "Oh ho, Juliet."
That's another great scene too. That's a great scene.
And the whole time she was saying, she repeated it like 2 or 3 times. And the whole time she was saying, "Oh ho, Juliet." I was cracking up because I was thinking, like, God, she was supposed to marry this dude and she's already giving up the goodies to somebody she just met last night. What a New York woman. I was like, oh, this is really.
Slow down. Slow down. You were doing so well, and then you had to mess with it.
I'm sorry, they do that in DC too. But no. So look, here's my thing. That was funny. That was funny. I'll be up there in 2 months. That was funny. I had to laugh a few times. It's a good chuckle. Might give the movie a thumbs up. All right, that's how funny it was. Like seriously. Let me do something. Oh, Julia.
let me add a scene because Chris is right. That was a good scene. I forgot about that. Again, speaking of my dude Lord Capulet, one of my favorites in this. He finds out that his daughter basically lost her virginity to the son of his head rival, right? And messed up the marriage proposal between her and Paul Rudd. He goes off. And the mother, who had been she's the one who's been trying to set up this marriage. She's like, "Oh, girls will be girls, honey. You need to calm down." He literally shoves her like a Kryptonian out the room. And he says to her, I can't remember, but I think the quote was, "Oh, shut your mouth." And he pushes her out the door. And then he grabs his daughter and he's about to whoop her like she deserves to be whooped. And then the nursemaid, who thinks that she's part of the family, says, you know, she tries to boss up and say, you know, she's actually right, you know, and he's been kind of good to her, you know, everything like that. And he almost reactionarily just gives her the back of his hand, but he catches himself. "I'm not trying to go to court right now over you. I don't even know your name. Get out of my sight." And he shoves her to like
I don't even know who you are.
And then he goes to Juliet. If you don't get this stuff straight and go down to that priest by 5 o'clock, because you know they close early today, I'm gonna throw you in there. I don't care that you're related to me. I'm gonna lie. Your relationship to me won't have nothing. Because he says to her, "You don't gotta work. You don't have to worry about anything. All you gotta do is not sleep with strangers," and you muck that up. And everybody else who has your back on that is apparently willy-nilly. It's okay. We don't need to get Paul Rudd. But you've been talking in my ear for the past 5 weeks. I found Paul Rudd. She needs to marry Paul Rudd. I said, "Baby, take care of it. You got it. That's what you do." And now you're telling me it's okay? Ho, if you don't shut your mouth. That's the modern English. But back then, he said, "Hearken."
Wow.
That was one of my favorite parts of the whole year.
I can see why.
I enjoyed when Lord Capulet was shaking those females down too. That was very good.
It was just funny, even though that movie deserved 4 thumbs up, as did that review episode. So
Well, Chrissy, let me
if you're
say
watching,
this.
don't forget to check that
I don't
one.
know if you know this, and this is kind of ironic because you speaking of the 4 thumbs up that you say it deserves. I remember that you didn't like New Jack City, which was Vic's pick. Did you know that scene when Lord Capulet was smacking those hoes around was actually a deleted scene in New Jack City?
Oh, really?
Yes. Did you? It was this scene when they went over to the Italians and he was smacking them around. Did you know that?
Well, maybe they should have kept it in. It might have been a better movie.
What, for Romeo and Juliet?
No, New Jack Hustle or whatever that.
New Jack Hustle. Here we go.
New Jack City is one of the best movies ever. She just don't like hood things, man. Listen, country. That's okay.
Not country.
It's all right. Like, listen, if it were like Brokeback Mountain or
I've never seen Brokeback Mountain.
Or one of those country things, like, you know, she probably would have been all into it. But she don't like hood things. That's okay.
Look, well, I do
I
enjoy a
accept
good
it. She
Romeo
doesn't
and
like
Juliet.
a good classic movie. She likes things that are all girly romance.
What is more classic than Romeo and Juliet?
No, because it's old. That's all. That's
Murder.
okay.
Murder is more classic than Romeo and Juliet.
You said it should have got 4 thumbs up. How many thumbs up did it get? If you remember,
I believe it only got 2.
Who gave it thumbs down?
Who else do you think?
That tells me what. That tells me what.
I don't remember what I don't remember. I don't remember. I did say
of course, I got a
that
thumbs down.
that movie. That I did like it, but I thought that it should be in modern English because because even though the movie is dressed in a modern setting, they're speaking like people spoke 500 years ago or 400 years ago, whatever. So I think that's what I said in the end. I don't remember what I gave it, thumbs up or thumbs down, but I did like the movie. I understand it, but if they're gonna make it a modern thing, I think it should have been in modern English. Just you tell the Shakespeare story, as far as the beats and everything like that. Yeah,
I agree. It definitely needed to be dumbed down. Like, you got to be smart. Watch that movie.
I didn't say dumbed down. I didn't say
like,
well, I respectfully
it needed to be dumbed down.
I like that.
Listen, they needed to dumb it down like an Apple product. Like, they have to dumb that movie down.
Easy.
Oh God.
Easy.
You know what I'm saying?
But yeah, that was one of my favorite movies of the year, one of my favorite moments of the year. And because that movie was so fantastic, it made me think of another movie that we did. It made me think of another movie that we did shortly after. It was during our 8 Tales of Terror, which was just really exciting, a special overall. I thought it was I really enjoyed that we did something for Halloween. But it was during that time that I had my next favorite movie of the year. And that one was for, surprise, surprise, Vic's selection, which was I Know What You Did Last Summer. And so I do also have a little clip from that.
I'm right here.
Yes.
What are you waiting for?
What are you waiting for?
Yeah. Oh, man. Jennifer Love Hewitt was so hot back then.
Oh, she's still 911 now. On the Fox.
His statement was Jennifer Love Hewitt was so hot back then. I don't know what her doing on 911 has to do with her being hot.
She could still be hot. You got to check her out.
Quickly say the sentence. You think Jennifer Love Hewitt is hot? Say it.
She's a very beautiful woman. Yes.
No, that's not what Vic said. Vic said she was so hot back then. You countered with she's on 911. We'd like to hear you say that you think Jennifer Love Hewitt is hot.
How old was she in that movie?
Let's see.
Don't be ageist. Don't be ageist.
No, I'm just making sure she was of age before I talk about a little 15-year-old.
Why can't you say that you think she's hot?
Yo, am I gonna lie? She aged well. She's all right.
All right. Well,
she aged okay. She aged okay. I mean, hey, I would. But anyway, my wife.
Let me get into this clip before Vic incriminates himself. But this is from I Know What You Did Last Summer, earlier this year. So my favorite scene was the part where Barry like pretty much goes like Lord Capulet on Julie and like tries to like choke her out. And then her female dog of a boyfriend says like absolutely hardly anything to this guy, and the look of disgust she gives him right now. The recasting makes another appearance. So her boyfriend literally says 2 words to this guy, and the look of disgust she gives this man after the fact was so hilarious to me. I think I have the clips. I wanted to play
go, Barry.
You fucking crazy.
Okay, Barry, we take this to the grave.
Now look at disgust, guys. It's coming.
It'll be okay.
That was so funny.
It did give it look like I gave her my virginity to you.
That was my best of sequence, and I'm so glad that somebody else picked it because she looked to her boyfriend for help. He was no help. He was a teacup. Okay, and she said, "You know what? I realized I did too much." Great. I agree.
Yes.
I agree.
Okay, I didn't even know. I said this scene is hilarious. And how dare he try to get up like, hey, you okay? Where were you when he was choking me out just 2 seconds ago?
You watched him literally choke me out, and I had to take it, and you did nothing.
Hilarious. That was one of my favorite episodes. And that was when we had our good friend Vincent on. If you're watching, Vincent, hey, how you doing? Happy New Year. And it was just really funny. And I didn't expect that movie to be one of my favorites because, again, I don't like because it's just yes, I was dressed as Rocket Raccoon, the off-brand, no copyright intended Rocket Raccoon. I was also having a lot of like technical difficulties that night, but we made it work. But it was still a funny episode.
What's that song, Slow Motion by Mystical?
What? Oh, no, that's all.
That's how you were moving in that video.
Oh, yeah, it was real. But we made it work. It was actually one of my favorite movies of the year. Not because it was a good movie. I did give it a thumbs up, but it was just so cheese that you can't help but to like it. It was really cheesy. And so that was another one of my favorite moments.
I can't say that about Hocus Pocus or Casper, but it was cheese.
Go.
It was cheese. No, it was
a
cheese.
Halloween classic
I can't agree
that you gave a thumbs up to.
No, I did not.
Yes, you did.
To what? No, I did not.
You're going to learn that I don't forget these things. You gave this movie a thumbs up. You gave Hocus Pocus a thumbs up.
I said Casper and Hocus Pocus. That's what I said. It was cheese.
If I remember correctly, he wasn't on the Hocus Pocus episode, but the next time I think you I don't know if you gave it a thumbs up, but you said you were following what we were saying or something like
I'll
that.
let you all pick and decide. I never gave those movies a thumbs up.
He gave Casper a
totally
thumbs down. He gave Hocus Pocus a thumbs up. I will bring the clip.
Show the clip.
I actually no. While Chrissy goes and look for that clip or something, I actually have a clip because I don't want Chrissy to get all the fun. I have a clip of one of my favorite scenes from this year. I wonder who brought the tomfoolery on this episode, because somebody always. You said what?
I can only imagine what clip you're about to pull up now.
Well, I mean, you bring the tomfoolery, ladies and gentlemen. This is no, that's not me. That's I can't tell where I begin and Chrissy ends.
Well, I labeled mine, so if it doesn't have a label, it's probably yours.
I'm in the wrong one. That's why, but it's fine. I'm just going to switch this over. I'm going to switch this over, and we're going to play this.
I'm having a great Thanksgiving. But I want to highlight the Admiral. This guy right here. And then there was also this guy. At first I called him the bald man, but he has a name. He's the Minister of Defense. So the Admiral and Minister of Defense, they're talking. And I kept saying to myself, well, this guy, he looks very familiar to me. Who does he look like? Sam Eagle. That's what he looked like to me. But then I thought to myself, I can't leave Homeboy out. I can't leave the Admiral out. At first I was going to say Rent. That's what I thought it was.
Yes.
But then I realized it was Waldorf and Statler. Okay? I said, nailed it. Okay? That's from the Office Show for you younger millennials. I want to give it.
Yes.
Only Jane would bring Sesame Street into this.
The Muppet Show. The Muppet Show.
Muppet, Sesame Street is all the same thing.
Kermit used to be on Sesame Street, though, back in the day, apparently. So it's a little bit of an overlap. But yeah, that was a great recast. That I do enjoy our recasts. I think they're hilarious.
Mm-hmm. I think they're a great time.
But did you enjoy the movie or just the recasted, Chris? What movie was that for?
That was for Tomorrow Never Dies, and of course I enjoyed the movie. The movie was that's my favorite James Bond movie.
But was it one of your favorites of the year? This is 2020 in review.
Yes, it was one of my favorites of the year. Apparently, it was one of y'all favorites of the year because it was one of the highest rated on YouTube.
Mm-hmm. Very true. Still climbing. Link in bio.
That is, she's right. I can't argue with that.
But yeah, I also enjoyed that episode. That was pretty funny. So go back and check it out, guys. But do you have another, or do you want me to go into mine?
No, you can go into your next one.
Okay. So let me do the introduction for this one because this movie. Which one? Okay, I want to say this one. The reason why I picked this movie, it's also one of my picks, but now I didn't pick this clip because it was a movie that I picked. I picked this clip because it was so important to the show because it gave us our introduction to our co-host. Let me just play the clip for you guys from Project Power.
One recasted for this lady.
Mm-hmm.
And she was, in my opinion, the worst villain ever. And I feel like anybody could have played this role. So this is my recasting for her. It's a generic white woman, because that's what she was. Wow. The people that you see when you look to go to the bathroom. that's who this lady is. Right?
Yes. Now, where would we be in 2020 without Miss Silhouette? We had to give her, she had to have her moments. And that was her first introduction to the show. Miss Silhouette, this is for you. Cheers to 2020 to Miss Silhouette and her husband, Mr. Silhouette, they got married earlier in the month. So this is also a celebration for their happy union. Mr. and Mrs.
2020 was 2020 was kind to these two. I mean, they met on set here, so I'm really happy for them. And they actually got married. I was told it was a Zoom wedding with guess how many people watching? 0. But congratulations.
No, and you were the best man, and that's why you were getting all the kisses from Mr. Noel.
Don't do that. Don't do that with that tomfoolery. I was not there. You know, I think you had a little bit more of your Jessica drink too much thing. But that is it, Vic. I haven't heard about any of your favorite movies of this year. Movie episodes.
I mean, well, you know, I have a lot to say, right? Because
I would have known.
Because here's the thing. There's a lot of movies that I picked from my past. Mainly movies that I enjoyed, right? But one thing that I appreciate about this whole process is that some of the movies you guys shared in my opinions, and pretty much felt the same way, at least some of you, right? But then one thing that I really enjoyed about this whole process is just hearing the different perspectives. And, you know, for some of you, it's because of different experiences or different ages and things like that. Like, I really liked hearing the different perspectives on Die Hard. And my favorite was Coming to America, because Coming to America is just such a big, big deal. You know, now, you know, there were movies like Devil Over All the Time that was just straight up, you know what I mean? That's it. Straight cheese. Like, you know what I mean? It just wasn't worth the time, in my opinion, because Spider-Man in the country with a Southern accent is just horrible. But then, you know, when it comes to Austin Powers, I think I feel like that's some of the most fun that we had. My favorite moment of the year is when I started putting all of the Fat Bastard stuff. And like, while we were talking, and all of a sudden Fat Bastard, and I put the Fat Bastard stuff. I'm actually looking forward to doing the next movie, Gold Member.
Mm-hmm. I did enjoy those episodes too. Those.
Yeah, it was I had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun doing that. But you know, other than that, like the perspective that you guys have, especially with the movies that are a little bit more cerebral, because I kind of look at it in a sense of just like, all right, I'm gonna sit back and watch a movie and be entertained. You know, that's pretty much why I pretty much give it a thumbs up to everything, because that's the approach that I take. I don't necessarily look at it as a situation where, like, all right, I want this out of the movie, I want that out of the movie, I want this out of the movie. You know, but it's nice to see that kind of perspective, because then you look at it differently. Like, you guys have all made me look at movies in a different light, especially the Bond movies. You know, my second favorite movie was Casino Royale, because, you know, I just liked seeing, because I was kind of like the last evolution of Bond, because coming from Sean Connery, may he rest in peace, you know, all up to the modern Bond, and then just seeing the evolution of that and seeing how much of a kick-ass character he is, and just seeing you guys' perspectives, because you guys are sitting here with like these little inside jokes and saying all of this stuff and appreciating the villains, and like, I can definitely understand why these movies are popular. You know, another thing was, I honestly liked Jingle All the Way. I like that movie. I thought it was fun. And I really enjoyed how much we ripped that movie apart. Oh man, that shit was a good time. But I enjoyed the movie. So, like, you know, for 2021, honestly, like, I'm just looking forward to, you know, just more of a good time when it comes to these movies. Like, you know, I'm excited about what's coming up, and but one thing that I'd definitely like to get into is see what's new and start, you know, at least I think for 2021, I'll probably just start picking movies that are more modern, because I think that for 2020, I was just going old school with everything. I'm pretty much just picking everything that I like. You know what I'm saying? And then lastly, Beetlejuice.
Really?
Beetlejuice
The
is
movie or
great.
the episode?
Damn.
Oh, the song. Okay.
Yes,
No.
I think we started singing it, if I can remember correctly.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
But singing it. That was a wait, wrong one.
Cheesy.
Wrong one. That was fun. No, I meant to put corn, but that was fun. Anyway, but yeah, there was.
Beautiful.
I mean, I'm just saying, there's a lot to say, and y'all know that I can ramble, and then Chris is gonna call me long-winded, and then it's gonna be a problem. So.
Well, all right. I appreciate those.
I mean, I didn't get any clips because there was just so much stuff that we did that was awesome. And oh wait, we got to do more Medea movies.
Which ones?
All of them. I'm down to do the plays, the movies.
Oh, you want to make this like a series?
What? Yes. Yeah.
Oh, so we were talking about what we're
Even
going
if
to
we-
do after X-Men.
Honestly,
so,
if anything, if we can't agree on all of them, at least the most recent one, the last play that he did.
where she dies?
No, she doesn't die.
I thought the last one was when she.
Vic, if we haven't seen it, you can't tell us what happens.
Yeah, she died.
Because now I don't want to do it because you just told me the ending.
I didn't tell you the ending.
You just said she doesn't die.
So what? She doesn't need to die.
The title is Medea's Dead.
Like, Live Twice, Christmas Vacation,
Listen,
Raised,
man,
Plus Two, The League.
Just watch the play and enjoy it. All right? Just
No, I know the ending. No, thank you. No, thank you.
You don't know the ending. You don't know what
No thanks.
the play.
No thanks, buddy. No thanks.
You don't know.
No thanks.
You don't know.
This is why Vic has never worked in the movie theater because people will be furious with him.
Yeah.
Oh, you going to see
You're
Jurassic Park? Everybody but the three people. They get out because the T-Rex saves them. You don't even see it coming.
Oh man, I would like if I was about to
Luke. Vader is Luke's father. You find out on Cloud City. You ever heard of Cloud City? You will in this movie.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to put this up every time Vic says something.
Chris Rock dies in New Jack City. I didn't even know that. I thought he was in the whole movie.
Spoiler alert. But
anyway,
what's not a spoiler is James. What's some of your favorites of the year?
Well, I'll piggyback what Vic said. The reason why, and I'll say why I'm even on this show. I'm on this show because Chris asked me, and I wasn't doing anything during COVID. And initially, it was proposed that, hey, we're gonna just break down the Marvel movies, the MCU. And he and I both laughed because we knew the majority of them were trash, and we both agreed on that fact. And after we finished laughing, we said, yeah, but it'll be fun, and it'll be just like we used to riff in the break room at work together. And we'll have fun. We'll do it. What else are we gonna do, right? And let's see if we can make something. And I did it because Chris always comes up with good ideas, and if they're fun, if they make sense to me, I'm on it. And I love movies, and we did it. And true to our thoughts, the MCU mostly was trash. But once we got over that, we realized, hey, we can make this something else. And we grew, we changed. The show grew and it changed, and we started doing our picks, right? And these are the different clips that they're showing you all, if this is the first time you're watching or the first episode that you're watching of us. And these picks, we rotate, right? So every week somebody has a different pick. Theme months, if we do theme months, we might have a whole week. So two episodes per week is somebody's pick. And I just like to give, I guess, a behind the scenes of how I pick what I pick. For Halloween, right? I picked 2 movies that I consider more psychological than anything. I picked Dream Warriors and I picked The Shining. The Shining is obvious. If you've seen The Shining, if you heard about it, you don't know if Jack Nicholson's character is insane or if he's actually seeing something, if there's actually a supernatural presence, right? And I picked Dream Warriors because even though, yes, it came out in the 80s and the special effects have dated now, it's about a dream demon, right? Control of the mind, the subconscious. And that's always fascinated me. Chris talked earlier about Star Trek before the show started. My favorite species are Vulcans. Why? Because they learn to control themselves and to expand their minds, right? To do what they thought before was impossible. And they realize that anything is possible with time, with effort, with devotion. And that's kind of how I approach the show, being on the show. The movies that I suggest, the commentary that I bring to it, Yes, I joke around and everything like that. I'm trying to have some fun, but when I talk about it, actually, the best of or the worst of, when I give the quotes and everything, all of these are peaks or pinpricks into who I am as a person, what I value, what I think about, and everything like that. I'm not here so that everybody can agree with me. I don't care if everybody watches this. I don't care if only one person stumbles upon it 20 years from now. I want to be able to say that I came on here, I did a good job, I ended better than I started, um, and I actually learned and I grew. And as Vic said, some of these movies I may have seen before, some of them I might not because they're just not my cup of tea, so to speak. But any movie that I watch, I go in with an open mind and I'm willing to learn something that I haven't. And typically, the only time I have a problem with the movie is if it didn't hold true, as you'll hear me say throughout many different episodes, it didn't hold true to its own internal logic. It didn't teach me anything, i.e., it was a waste of my time. Why am I watching this? I don't understand why I'm watching this, especially if it's not just goofy fun. For instance, Vic talked about The Spy Who Shagged Me, right? Or I'm thinking of Spy Who Shagged Me when he said the Austin Powers film, but we did both of them so far, International Man of Mystery and The Spy Who Shagged Me. Gold Members coming up next. But those are spoof movies. But the quality of the movie is so good that even though you're laughing and you think, oh, it's just a comedy, no, they're really, really doing something well. If you go back and you watch some of our Bond episodes, or maybe you just know Bond, you're looking at that movie and you're like, oh, they got that from that movie. They got that from that movie. They got that from, and you realize that it's not just something that was cobbled together for money to get people in the seats. This was a passion project that Mike Myers had. You come away respecting that movie more so than you might have before after you learn it, or if you already knew the Bond backstory and back history and everything like that. So those are the
It
things
makes
that I
it
like.
even better now.
Exactly. And those are the things that I like, that I look forward to. Those are the things that I want to bring to the table. And the hardest part for me on being on the show is that, again, as I said, I have 1 week, 1 day of 1 week, a month. And I have all these movies that I want to share with everybody and talk about and discuss, just like a little kid, just like Chris and I talked about when we'd be in the break room and we'd have these philosophical conversations. Philosophy doesn't have to be something only taught in the university or only in the AP class in high school, depending on which grade level you're in. Philosophy is, what is your thought on this? And no one's right or wrong, but it should make sense. It should be based on something. That's my opinion. And so the hardest part is being able to contain myself and wait to bring this idea to the table and say, hey, this is what I want to present. What do you think about this? And so in the next few months, in the coming year, as I hope that I've done in my previous picks, you will enjoy it. They may be new, they may be different, they may make you uncomfortable. And I'm glad that they do all those things. I hope that they do all those things. You should be challenged. As Denzel Washington once said, comfort is deadly. And I think that's a good adage. When people are comfortable, they become lazy. They don't become inspired. They aren't driven anymore. And if you're so comfortable, you might as well go to sleep. Right? So those are the big things. I wanted to bring up some movies. I was ragging on the MCU. I do have some that I like. I like Ant-Man. I love the recasting of Ant-Man. I thought that was great. It made me laugh so much. I love the first Thor, right? And actually, I said Thor and Thor: Dark World. They're so similar as far as the story, right? The tonality is a little bit different because it's two different directors, but the story is so similar about two brothers and fighting for their father's love that I love it, and I think of it almost like a loose continuation of the first one, but I love that movie. The first Iron Man, for instance, I really, really enjoyed. The Guardians of the Galaxy and 1 and 2, and with the exception of genetics no longer making sense genetically because they need to have Thanos come in there in Infinity War, I thought those were great films. I really, really enjoyed that, and I love the dynamic of the characters. And then, as I said, when they had an explosion of characters, no pun intended, in Infinity War, they forgot that these people grew, that they learned things, that they matured for the sake of the plot. It was punchy, punchy, run, run. Doctor Strange, the magician who, like Gandalf, did nothing through the entirety of their films. I'm still waiting to see, without me paying for it, what is this man going to do that's magical? I would rather watch Harry Potter over and over and over again because at least I get to see magic. It said there's magic, and they showed me. Doctor Strange, he went like this. And that's probably my favorite scene of all Doctor Strange scenes. I loved it. Black Panther, I thought the conversation that we had on that was great. And I think that's Vic's point. And I loved it because we get to delve deep. We even did that in Coming to America. It's a comedy film, but don't take anything away from comedy, because people are disarmed when they're afraid and when they're laughing. The true self comes out when people are afraid. And comedy shows you where people's thinking, where their heart is, where their mentality lies. Okay? So sometimes people can laugh at you and sometimes they can laugh with you. And you should distinguish those two. Dave Chappelle said the same thing. But let me just throw up a few of them. And as I do, I want you to look at this picture. Infinity War. Doctor Strange. Fake X-Men. I'm sorry, Project Power.
Lies.
Casper. Jingle All the Way. A Goofy movie. I'm just joking about the last one. I actually enjoy a Goofy movie, but that's coming up next. That's a little sneak peek. But most of it, and I had to tease Chrissy because I've always teased Chrissy, and I will continue to tease Chrissy. And if she thought she was getting it easy in 2021, no, baby, COVID is still going, and so am I. I'm going to trash your picks until they make sense to me, okay? But I like being on this show. I enjoy it. I think it's fun. I like when we riff on each other. And I'm always curious what people are going to bring to the table, whether or not they've seen it and why they picked it. As Vic said, what was the incident, and so on and so forth.
You know, to kind of piggyback on what you were saying, that whole thing with Bond, you know, actually, I was a big fan of Austin Powers and had no idea that it was.
You never knew that?
I had no idea.
Wow.
I had no clue because I never saw the Bond movies.
Okay.
But, you know, it literally, so that whole thing, it just made me think like, wow, this thing became incredibly successful on its own, even without knowing the association. So like after seeing the first movie, I'm just like, oh man, I would have laughed so much harder if I knew all of these little things,
the little asides and everything like that.
So like, and that's one of the things that makes me literally want to watch all the Bonds and Austin Powers again.
Out of all the ones, the Bonds that you have seen, do you have a favorite thus far?
See now it's hard. That's hard to gauge. You know why? Because one thing that we have to do with these movies is that you have to take them in for the time that they're in. You can't necessarily just well, I would say this, the Pierce Bronson one. That one's
Tomorrow Never Dies.
Yeah, Tomorrow Never Dies. That was so far that's the one I like the most, and it's probably because it's from the timeline of my adolescence.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying? So it speaks to me the most. You know, and clearly the new ones, but then it's, you know, you can't really compare the modern Bond to Sean Connery, which is things that we were doing. You know what I mean? So like you internalize it differently. It's kind of like watching Freddy Krueger and then watching what's that black and white movie with the
Nosferatu?
With the
Psycho.
Yeah, you internalize it differently. You know, and the same thing with damn, you know, Jack Nicholson, coño, The Shining. Yeah, and there's the whole thing. It made you look at it, that whole thing totally different. And then I ran to go watch Dr.
We never talked
Dr.
about
Sleep?
that. Dr. Sleep.
Me too.
I ran to go see Dr. Sleep.
I didn't know you watched it.
Yeah, Well, I ran to go see Dr. Sleep, and it was awesome because the way that those two movies connected. You know, but the
Dr. Sleep is still its own movie, though. It has its own story.
And that's the great thing about it. So, like, if somebody were to watch Dr. Sleep, I think they would run to go see The Shining if they didn't know.
Yeah.
And it's great because it's literally like 30 years apart. It's still relevant. Like, it would have been awesome if Jack Nicholson could figure out a way to be in that movie.
What did you think? I'm very curious because Chrissy, I didn't even ask you this. So Shelley Duvall, obviously she played the mother in the original in Shining in the 1979 or 1980 film. What did you all think of the actress who played Mrs. Torrance in Dr. Sleep?
I think that they did it.
I'm sorry, let me just say for the audience. So this is slight spoiler alert. The movie starts right after the events of The Shining. So you see them, what they look like as best they could with new actors and actresses in the roles that were portrayed in the 1980 film. So you see the mother after they left the hotel, after they left the Overlook. So that's what I'm talking about when I asked Chrissy that question. I'm sorry, Chrissy.
I think that they did a good job with finding an actress that looks similar. But honestly, I feel like with the technology we had today, they could have just like maybe like de-aged or added a bit other, because I feel like they did a better job with finding an actress that looks like the mother than they did finding an actor that looked like the father, Jack Nicholson.
Yeah, definitely.
But
well, I will say this, and I say this respectfully. Shelley Duvall, you may not know this, she has mental health issues. So that's why she retired from acting.
Okay.
Yeah.
But they could have visually put some face on there.
You know what? I didn't see Dr. Sleep at all. But I remember when we were talking about The Shining, because remember that was the first time I saw that movie, that the one thing I remember about that episode so much is the fact that Vic kept saying, Dr. Sleep, Dr. Sleep, Dr. Sleep, you gotta see Dr. Sleep, Dr. Sleep, Dr. Sleep. So it's really interesting that during this episode, finally, yes, I did, is finally able to speak about this movie. He's been dying to talk about, right? But while we talk about Dr. Sleep, before I get put to sleep, I want to go ahead and show a couple more of my clips that I got from our episode.
No fighting skills. He gets sent to prison, and he's roommates with this with Chi McBride's character, who uses him as his jail wife, and they make toilet wine together. If you've ever seen this movie, I don't know how many people have seen this movie, but this was my Tony Stark pick. I think, and little known fact, he's the voice of Lego Batman. Did you know that?
Oh yes.
Oh, nice.
I didn't know that.
You see, I'm bringing in ties, huh? I'm bringing in ties. But finally, and Chris, you're gonna love this, because in the last movie they made him a woman. You know what I mean? And listen, it's 2020, so you can do whatever you want. I don't own the character, but in Infinity War he was a woman. In this one, he was just castrated. But I like this one the best. This is my best version. I like this one because, again, as I said, in Infinity War he was a woman. In Endgame, he was castrated, but I thought this was the best version of this character right here. You see that? This one has testosterone.
Y'all just keep hating on this.
This Hulk looks angry.
Yes.
He looks like he's not all there. He looks like he will rip you apart or stomp you to death. You see what I'm saying? And he actually looks like he can do damage. Do you see that? That's from Incredible.
This.
No.
Yeah. We mean no. That was
no.
Good. I appreciate it. That's exactly how most people feel about the Incredible Hulk in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So if there's one thing most people can agree on when it comes to the MCU, is the fact that they castrated, as James so eloquently said it.
I agree with the Hulk recasting, but not Tony Stark. Come on now, that was a mess. But you know what? I can't agree with what they did to the Hulk. They definitely did castrate him. I agree. So yeah, that's for sure. But I feel like they had to a certain extent, because again, like James mentioned, Thanos was coming, so they couldn't really give him the power that he would normally have. Because I remember there used to be these debates online, or there still are, of the Hulk and Superman, like who would win in a fight. So I think it's Superman, but others argue that it's Hulk. So they couldn't really give him the power that he has in the comic books, because they had to make Thanos seem like the big bad. So I kind of understand, but they definitely.
I respectfully disagree, and here's the reason why. And I'm going to go revert to wrestling. You want to build the guy up to fight the big boss, the ultimate boss. And actually, I should download that clip, the final boss. I remember that one. But you have to build him up for the final boss, right? So you have him win and dominate all these people until he gets to the final boss, and then when the final boss actually beat his butt, it makes it a little bit more believable. It makes it a little bit more, oh man, this guy don't play.
Exactly.
But unfortunately, I've seen 3 or 4 movies where the Incredible Hulk was getting his butt before he went to Thanos. So I did when he stepped to Thanos, I already knew what time of day was. I mean, there's this popular phrase, and hopefully you'll watch this in a couple of years, and you're like, wow, what is this phrase referred to? There's a popular phrase going around the internet. I've been seeing it all on Facebook and all on Instagram, all over Twitter. It's called Twisted Tea. The Thanos had the twisted T that took to the Hulk's head. Right? That's all I'm saying. That is all I'm saying.
I feel like that works with a character that isn't that established, like someone that we don't know much about. We have to like when Rocky first came out, no one knew Rocky, so we had to see him build up to the big boss. You know, we're training with him, we're building with him. But with the Hulk, he's so established as a powerful being that watching him like get more powerful would seem a little unbelievable because we've already known him for so long as like this great, you know, power set. So I think that's probably what they tried to do, try to give it another angle where, you know, he's in this realm, he's less powerful. So how can he, you know, beat the bad guy with not being as big and bad as he is?
It's so
but
funny.
still,
I've always respected you. I've always respected you. See, you know how to try to make it sound like something is going to happen. You know, you did it so well when you convinced us to watch The Devil all the time. It doesn't work, right? It does not work. Right, it is not working right now. That's why I appreciate it. But I got another clip before we go ahead because we're going to start wrapping this up soon. This is from Casino Royale.
It's impossible for him to get out of, and then he just always figures a way out of the situation. So, like, this movie is very, very, very MacGyver. If everybody understands, like, you know, just the whole culture behind MacGyver, it's just literally DIY everything. And this guy just gets out of everything, you know, from the poker game to the ball thing to the fights to everything. It's just great. But yeah, did you watch this movie?
Who's your recap? I don't know who wrote that comment. This is horrible.
Read the comment out loud and really think about who it is. No, read the comment out loud. Okay.
Steven?
Yeah.
No, come on. No, look at your StreamYard, right?
Oh, it's
so how many times? Anytime you see it more than once, right? Then you know somebody in here did. Okay. So now read that comment. Did Vic watch this movie? Your thoughts.
What happened, James? You think I didn't? You think I didn't watch this movie?
Did it got a response?
What happened? You think I didn't watch this movie?
Got a response, guys. You guys are the worst.
You think I didn't watch this movie?
I don't know, buddy. I thought Chrissy was bad with her first recasted, but you have managed to take the trophy.
A mess. Your thoughts? That was hilarious. I'll give him that. But yeah,
that was fun. It was so funny that he had to run out the room. Crazy.
I got
That's funny.
You know what? It's amazing to me how much James to this day still doesn't admit that was him. But he was caught red-handed there.
Technically, I wasn't.
That's it.
I've been watching these episodes as I hope the audience does over and over again, and I've noticed that Chris snitches on me a lot. I saw one clip in particular today that I was going to put on the show, but I didn't have enough time. Plus, I don't have access. And Chris mouths. He goes like this. I say something, and then Chris goes, "Oh, shocking." He mouths shocking.
I don't know.
The problem is he knows me too well, and it cracks me up because he knows where I'm going with this. You know, he knows where I'm going with this, but I can't help it. I got to do it. You know, and the way that he recognized, it wasn't the fact that it appeared 3 times, but it was the coda at the end of that. Your thoughts. Because it's such an asshole thing to do, like to couch it like a journalistic question. And he knows that I'm an asshole, so he knew that was me.
That was
allegedly.
That definitely was it. That definitely was it. It was your thoughts that that did it. Oh man.
Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot something. I don't know how I did this. And Vic kind of brought it up, and I didn't really. And then we started talking about I forget whether the movie after that, but Vic brought it up. But I really think that we need to mention this person, just out of respect. Once again, Chris is shaking his head.
Because you're already prepared for the tomfoolery. Like you already prepared for the tomfoolery.
I'm trying to be very earnest and sincere, and you're making me laugh.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I know who's coming.
I know.
Vic, what are you talking about? Earlier.
Go ahead. Go ahead and give respect.
We were introduced to a young man.
Oh God!
Yeah.
But alas,
Oh God! This is
he was
Intel
on
there.
film, and so
Why you gotta hate on Q so much?
Q.
Straight
I
to
wanted to
hell.
highlight
Straight
Q.
to
This was
hell.
Q in his deleted scene in Casino Royale. So they recasted the character. They thought he would do better. Originally he was going to play opposite Daniel Craig, according to Vic, but they recasted him as a younger version. They thought a younger version would play well. But actually, I don't think it's going with this, because clearly you could see that he was captured by the Chinese much.
Yeah. Yes.
And his capsule didn't work either. He's sweating. You see the sweat? He got that drip.
Cyanide pill. A mess. Horrible. Straight to hell.
But I'll always see him as this guy. He's so happy to be there. Hi, James. How you doing? Anyway, I just wanted to highlight that real quick.
The tomfoolery is in full effect, ladies and gentlemen.
I don't know what you're talking about.
But with that being
Did
said,
I mention my poop list of 2020?
Yeah, mention your poop. Mention your poop.
Oh.
Everybody in Romeo and Juliet except Lord Capulet.
No.
Fake X-Men. Fake.
You keep saying fake X-Men. Hold on, I actually like that idea.
I'll give Chrissy credit, because Chrissy, we call her Netflix behind the scenes, because that's how she picks her movies, whichever one is on the But she did pick that Highlander prequel.
The old guy.
Starring Charlize Theron. And I actually enjoyed that. And Vic enjoyed it too, because it was surely set up for a sequel. I haven't seen it yet. I don't know what they're waiting on. It's not like they're doing anything else, but that was actually a good one. What's the name of that movie?
The Old Guard.
The Old Guard. It was good. I enjoyed it. I liked it when he was from the Highlands of Scotland, but this was still good with Charlize Theron as well.
Well, speaking of, I do enjoy picking movies off of Netflix, because I like picking newer movies that I haven't seen. Like, I feel like we could
watch that with subtitles, ladies and gentlemen. It's in English, but watch it with subtitles.
I enjoy picking movies that we haven't seen, so that we can get our first impression of the movie and see what we all think. But
Spider-Man, that's the worst Southern accent ever. I'm sorry.
God. But my final selection for this episode was not from one of my picks, but from one of James' picks. Surprisingly, I did enjoy one or two of his picks. And this was going to be from our pre-8 Tales of Terror, but it could have fit in there if we made time for it, because it's a scary movie, The First Purge. So here's a little clip. This is from recasted for Dimitri.
Would have picked this guy.
No.
Well, yeah, no, because he from how he portrayed Killmonger, I can see that.
Yep.
He doesn't give me big D energy. Other dude was giving BDE. So it's like,
really? Come on.
I didn't say it. I'm not cursing on this show.
I'm just saying that we're
doesn't
talking about
give
acting skill, and you're talking about big D energy.
No, BDE. This guy gives BDE throughout the whole movie. I don't know about Michael B over there. He giving, I don't know. Definitely not BDE.
He did to me, but I don't really look like that.
What kind of energy did he give you? What kind of energy?
So
my audio wasn't working. What did you just?
The other person.
He gave
it to you.
What
Hilarious. I love that episode. That's also when we got introduced to one of our other co-hosts for the first time, I believe. And that's beautiful Teacup over here. That was his
Oh,
introduction.
word.
The highest paid actor of 2020.
Yes, teacup rolling in the
Teacup.
dough. As you can see, he's spending it on the lavish life. But I really enjoyed that episode. I really enjoyed the BD energy that wasn't given by Michael B. Jordan, but apparently was Chris thought otherwise. But that was a fun episode. But yeah, again, I really enjoyed doing these with you all. And thanks for everyone who's watching. It's been a great year, even though we technically started in April. So our 1 year anniversary isn't yet here. But if you take a look back at some of our earlier episodes, I think the first episode that we all four were on was maybe like the Avengers or Iron Man, or maybe it was like Iron Man 2 or something. But it's a big difference back when we were doing 2-hour episodes. So I do feel like we've evolved and come quite a way. And also,
it's always amazing to me when we talk about. It's always amazing to me when we talk about the 2 and 2.5 hour episodes, because Vic and I were talking about this a week or two ago. We legit had some episodes that were longer than the movies.
Yes.
It was, but you know what? It was still. It went by. It was long to watch, but it went by pretty quickly. It was a good time. Remember, this was the height. This was the height of the quarantine. This is when places were really shut down, and you couldn't go anywhere. So good entertainment for us. It was good entertainment for you all. And I just wanted to go ahead with my list of I won't do negative. I won't do crap movies, right? If I did, then I have to mention Casper and stuff like that. But I'll talk about or Beetlejuice, because I wasn't a part of the Beetlejuice episode. I was really upset about that. But before I do that, because I can't think of any negative ones, because I mean, even if I thought the movie was bad, Casper, what was another movie that was just like so bad to me? Does anybody remember? Sonic was good, and you're going to stop disrespecting Sonic, okay?
It was not.
Sonic was good. Sonic was good.
Doctor Strange.
Yeah, I did. Doctor Strange was bad. Doctor Strange was very bad, actually. It might have been that. The Hulk was good. Don't do that. The Hulk was good. The Incredible Hulk was good.
The Incredible Hulk was good.
Yeah.
Incredible Hulk was good.
Romeo and Juliet.
You didn't like Incredible Hulk?
What were we watching? What were it was the transitions were a mess. I understand they were trying to pay, homage to the comic books, but it didn't make sense tonally with the movie. Like the tone of it was different than what they were showing. It's just a bad movie to me.
With Edward Norton, you didn't like the Incredible Hulk with Edward Norton?
I thought you were talking about the Hulk.
Oh no.
We didn't even review that one. We didn't even review that one.
Oh, that was before I came on, so I know it was the Hulk.
Whatever.
But
I'm going to tell you my favorite scene, and then we're going to go into our final thoughts. We're going to be done, ladies and gentlemen. This is my favorite scene that we have ever done as far as Unpopular Review Entertainment. On Thursday, when we pick a couple characters from the movie and talk about who we think will do a better job, and I'll actually take the lead and go first on this one, since I was so short with the quotables. And actually, I don't have to highlight me for this. My first person that I want to do is Michael Hank Pym. Hank Pym's character, I feel like, could have been recast as somebody, actually, I think a little bit better. And I'm going to go ahead and put a picture up from that person. I think.
The Crypt Keeper?
Yes.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Hold on.
Don't do
Let me go.
Don't do that.
The Crypt Keeper.
Don't do that.
What are you talking about? Can I go? Is that okay?
Don't do that.
Yo,
that's not nice. That's Kirk Douglas, man. More respect for Kirk Douglas, man. More respect for Kirk Douglas, man.
There's nothing to do with Kirk Douglas himself in the game. I'm just hold up. Ladies and gentlemen, that will always be my favorite scene. Not just because Vic thought that was Kirk Douglas and it wasn't. Because if that was Kirk Douglas, it's like a rehash right here. Let me go, right? Vic is gone out of embarrassment. Look at that. Vic is gone out of embarrassment. But if that was Kirk Douglas, if I did recast Kirk Douglas, that would be the ultimate side. That would be the ultimate side of disrespect. But that wasn't Kirk Douglas. So that wasn't why it was my favorite thing. It wasn't because I was making fun of the CGI of Ant-Man, right? What was funny about that scene will always be to me James's laugh. Because you just uncontrollably lost it. So that was good.
I always laugh at something when it's messed up. If it's funny, I have to laugh. Okay.
That don't sound evil. That don't sound evil at all.
No. Listen, I'm wrong for it, but it's so when Chris rolled up the window and that guy asked him for change without even missing a beat. Okay. That was funny. It was messed up and it was funny. And I admit that I'll laugh at it. When I'm watching the Ant-Man, now this is after he was just sick. He had the throat cancer allegedly from cunnilingus. I'll say that because that's what he said. That's what he said.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. He said he got
eating the WAP.
he swallowed too much. Anyway, and so he was having too much fun and he got a little sick. And he filmed this right after he got a little bit better. And his face did look a little gaunt. And I was thinking that when I rewatched Ant-Man. So of course Chris was clearly thinking the same thing. And when I saw the Crypt Keeper, I thought to myself, Chris, you're absolutely disrespectful. But you're so spot on. And I'm laughing because I was thinking the same thing watching the movie. Like, this man's face looks like skeletal. And for Chris to show the Crypt Keeper, it was spot on. I couldn't hate on it. And I had to just laugh, you know?
A mess.
I agree, a mess. But thankfully somebody said Michael Douglas because it was Michael Douglas. All right, so Justin let everybody know for the last 8 months, 9 months, 7 months, 6 months, however long it's been since we did the revamp. We've come a long way. A lot more organized, a lot more coordinated. I got a better camera. Life is good as far as this show. Thank you so much. We boosted our subscribers a lot. And we do pretty well. And we have a lot of fun doing this show for you, as you can see from commercials and everything else, so forth. I should actually play the commercial, my fault. Anyway, but understand, as a matter of fact, we're going to do our final thoughts because I do have to play 2 commercials coming up. Coming up this Thursday and next Tuesday. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back. What?
Not the Goofy movie.
Yeah, I didn't need you to tell me that. You could put that in private chat. I wasn't going to do that. It's going to be Thursday's movie and then next Tuesday. Bam.
This private vendetta of yours could easily compromise Her Majesty's government.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are now seeing the beginnings of another stage of human evolution.
The truth is that mutants are very real, and they are among us.
Yeah, we'll be doing X-Men and A License to Kill, so stay tuned for that.
That was terrible. That was terrible. I just came up and I was giving us all praise of how much we came. And then Chrissy didn't realize her cue.
No, because sometimes you like to play a third commercial when I'm about to talk. So I said, look, let me just be real quiet.
he said he's going to play 2 commercials.
Yeah, okay, that's to throw me off. He says a lot of things.
The liquor threw you off. The liquor.
What liquor? This is water in here, sir.
No, you finished it.
But final thoughts.
No, Chrissy wants. You know what the problem is? I think it is the liquor. I think it is liquor. You need to sober up. So for our wrestling fans, the one of them that's left, I'll play one last commercial. Look at that.
I'm gonna quote Donald Trump here. This is rigged.
Rod is transformed. Rod is transformed. And I don't know what's going on.
Yo, what the fuck?
I don't know how Steven managed to win funny.
And this is a friendship that'll never ever end.
All right, and we're back.
Here we go. I'll try again. Good job, Christy. Final thoughts.
All right, I'll go. Final thoughts. So 2020 with you guys. It was a fun year, regardless of the COVID. I honestly didn't want to do the show. When Chris first asked me, I wasn't going to do it. And, after thinking about it for a while, I said, why not? Because I'm a little camera shy. But I said, let's go, let's see how it goes. And I just always loved watching movies. But I really look forward to doing these with you guys twice a week. And it's just been really fun. I love seeing our views go up. I love seeing our channel grow. And I love talking with you guys about movies and film and everything in between. So I look forward to, 2021, to more awesome films and more awesome reviews with my co-hosts and friends. Cheers.
All right.
Christy, can I just say, you touched that small part of emotion I still have left.
Oh yeah, your heart grew. What, 2 sizes? It swelled. Wonderful. I'm glad to hear.
Your lighting is popping.
No, I'm sorry. I had to switch computers because I was getting all Johnny 5.
Look at the blue haze on it.
It does look nice. We can see you clearly.
I was looking all Johnny 5 and in my other computer, so I can't.
Be like Johnny 5.
Yeah.
No, don't hurt Johnny 5. Still a better actor than Brie Larson.
Actually, we should do. I think we should do Short Circuit and Short Circuit too.
How did I know that was
every time? Yeah, exactly. Because every time a movie's mentioned, you know what? We should do it. Because the thing about this movie is,
it's a good movie. It is.
And I'm really curious to find out why this movie resonated with me. But go ahead and tell us how MacGyver.
Because after I saw all the Bonds, I could appreciate Short Circuit.
After Vic just told us that he wants to do newer movies in 2021, he wants to bring it back.
Let's jump back in time.
I'm just saying, are we gonna do a Valentine's Day theme?
We'll talk about that
because here's the thing,
it's called X-Men. Here's the thing,
like Johnny 5 is a great story about a guy who gets a girl who seems unattainable and ends up getting that girl, which is awesome. So that's a great love story for Valentine's Day. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Whoa.
It is.
He didn't realize.
Vic, thank you so much for your final thoughts. James, you want to go?
All right. So anyway, this year was a good time. Honestly, in the beginning, we were doing wrestling and just focused on wrestling, and then I was worried that I wouldn't be able to have the time. And I still don't have the time, but I like making the time because I've actually learned quite a bit from all of you. Especially when it comes to the Bond, because there's certain movies that we review and then I regret not watching them sooner, which is one of the things that I've taken the most out of this entire experience and this whole year. A lot of times I'm just like, damn, now I get why that was so popular. Damn, now I see why this is this. Damn, you know what I mean? So there's a lot of things that I wish I would have seen. I understand why Twilight was so popular. I understand why Bond was so popular. I always understood why Austin Powers was popular, but now I get it even more. And I'm always excited to do it. It's a great time. Some of the movies are but most of the movies are good. Like I said in the beginning, I usually just look to a movie to see if I'm entertained, but for the most part, none of these movies have put me to sleep, and that's usually something that, except for Casper. Yeah, Casper was the other one. It was bad.
Is Casper universally known as the worst movie we reviewed?
Yes.
I think so, yes.
Yeah.
You
I'm
know,
sorry
maybe
about
we should do a month. We should do a month of like really bad movies.
Thank you so much for your final thoughts. Vic is always going. Vic always goes and gravitates to talk about stuff that we could be talking about behind the scenes, backstage.
Yes,
I don't know what's going on. Pre-production, post-production. This is the top of that. We talk about final thoughts.
But I nominate Starship Troopers as the worst movie.
And he still goes on.
We'll talk about it.
He still goes on. He still goes on. James, final thoughts. I'm gonna be really quick.
Well, listen, before we close out tonight's show, I mean, Chrissy said it right. We haven't reached our anniversary yet. Oh, that's pretty cool. I didn't get one. We haven't reached our.
We gotta order more.
We haven't reached our anniversary episode. That's in April or March, whenever that is. But this is the end of the year episode 2020, and everybody can celebrate that. Everybody who watches the show, please tell people to watch. If you enjoy it, keep continuing to watch. Come on, join in, jump in the comments. We put it on the screen. We love to have interaction from people who watch us. We want to know what you think, what you're going to. I think some people said that we should have a worst of, like Vic said, maybe Vic is copying them. Charmaine said, when are we going to get to Saw 2? Saw 2 is coming. We've been talking about that, believe it. And speaking of Charmaine, I just wanted to give a special shout out to our #1 fan. I wanted to do that on air so that everybody, what's the matter, Chrissy? So that everybody would know that Charmaine, you are in fact our #1 fan.
Oh my God! 2 times this week.
And I didn't. What happened?
She was also voted #1 fan in the wrestling edition. So
are you serious? I didn't know.
Yeah,
that.
I swear it is. Her head is going to be as big as yours. Like,
well, listen, it's Charmaine that's merited. Don't let these haters come at you. Charmaine, shake them off. Charmaine, do your thing.
Thank you, Mr. Avery.
Thanks, Charles.
After celebrating Charmaine's victory 2 times over, I just wanted to put this last picture up. Now, this may seem obscure, but to everybody who worked with us back in the day, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Oh. Shout out to Home Depot.
All right, bye.
Shout out to Home Depot.
First, I thought he was talking about Ricky. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen,
shout out to Ricky.
Oh, speaking about Ricky, shout out to Ricky. Don't get jealous.
Shout out to Ricky.
Why would Ricky get jealous that we're talking about Charmaine, or are we talking about Michael Jackson?
Yeah, he gets.
We didn't mention him all this time, so we're just saying shout out to Ricky. Thanks for watching. We know you're out there. We send our.
He's not watching.
Our well
if
wishes.
He watches, he gives us an angry face because ever since he lost his job, he's been on hate mode.
Let James finish his final thought.
Every time Ricky hits up somebody, that's what they image they get in their head, and they start saying this.
Shout out to my former coworker. You know who you are, Home Depot. And lastly, I'd like to end this, my final thought of the year, allegedly, if we're doing something Thursday, I don't know, with a quote. Here's the quote. And then I'm going to act out a scene.
Oh, God. I got to mute myself.
I wish we had more time. And then here's the scene. Now, Chris muted himself because he knows. Chrissy is stumped. She's like, who is that? But Chris knows that I'm quoting the one and only Captain Jean-Luc Picard of Enterprise D-1701. And also the E, okay? Vic, I don't know why. They have multiple movies. You would love it.
I know. See, that's
right.
another one.
Since we're doing Star Wars,
I know we're going to get
Star
into
Wars
I'm
and
sorry, I thought
Harry
it was my
Potter.
time to shine.
We can do Star Trek.
We've grown together. We've talked over one another. We've sat through Chrissy's horrible movies. We've seen this, that, him. We can't forget you. And of course you. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is my final thought, Chris.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for this time. And I tell you, one of the reasons how come I appreciate this even more so than the wrestling one is simply because of the fact that it's allowed me to see a lot of movies I've never seen before. I always hear about them, but because I usually am closed-minded to some things occasionally, I did not want to see it. And I've actually ended up watching a lot of good movies, such as New Jack City, Coming to America, I've never seen. I would have never watched The Old Guard, and I actually did enjoy The Old Guard. Project Power wasn't as bad. I would have never watched it, and I did, somewhat enjoyed it, even though I gave it a thumbs down. Even Euro Trip, I gave a thumbs up to because it was a little bit entertaining in its own way. So, and that was a horrible movie.
And that was a horrible.
So it got a lot of good laughs. Bottom line is, if you really put all our times and how much fun we had in all these episodes we did, because this is actually episode 75. But if you did all 75, if you put all those episodes together and take out the clips, all the funny times that we've had, you'll be here for 24 hours. I can do a watch along on YouTube. It's been that much of a good time for us. So thank you so much for watching us. Great movies, great choices that were picked. You know, Hocus Pocus was good. Saw was good. All the James Bond movies were good. These were all good movies that I picked. So shout out to me for picking great movies. Look, Casper, universally known as a hated movie. See, you will never hear the end of that.
I picked Hocus Pocus.
Okay, she's going to show me a screenshot. Oh, she did. I tricked you into picking Hocus Pocus so I could pick Saw. That's what it was. Thank you.
No, you didn't trick me. I was going to pick it originally. I'd allow you to think
this is how good I am. You actually believe that, right? That's how good I am. I've been doing this since before you were born, right? I was doing this since before you were born. I was kicking my mother's womb. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching us here. Join us on Thursday for the YouTube exclusive because it's New Year's Day and I'll be in Atlanta. But for the YouTube exclusive, stop shaking your head. Stop shaking your head.
Did you say Thursday?
New Year's Eve.
Okay.
Yes, I'm sorry, New Year's Eve, which means I definitely will not be available. New Year's Day, I might have been available.
The celebration has started early, ladies and gentlemen.
The celebration has got, you got to be drunk by midnight. All right, that's how that works. All right, you got to be drunk by midnight. All right, you see what time we're ending right now? I will be like, come on, we got to go, people. But ladies and gentlemen, so Thursday, 6:00 p.m. on YouTube exclusive is going to be License to Kill, our very last James Bond movie, which is starring Timothy Dalton. So thank you so much for.
Do you promise?
Get out of here. And signing off.
No, I do not promise. I promise that it will not be another next week. It won't be next week or the week after, but I think it'll be another James Bond movie. Most definitely, I do believe that. So thank you so much for watching us. I promised in pre-production this was not going to be an hour and a half. It was an hour and 21 minutes, so I made my promise. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching us. We will see you next time here at Unpopular Review. Good night, ladies and gentlemen.